There's no way that just happened.
What's going on, everybody? Lewis here with Scrub to Scratch, and today we have an excellent episode. 18 holes here, tee box 1, hit a pretty big fade, and give myself a very tough lie on shot number 2. As you can see, it's just off the cart path, and I'm kind of on an awkward angle here, and ended up chunking it pretty poorly, only about 20 yards to the hole. Have another look at it and do the exact same thing. Pretty tough start to hole number 1, but on this shot I ended up redeeming myself a little bit and laid it right onto the green and give myself a decent look here for bogey. Now this putt here is going to set the tone for what putting looked like for the entire day. Coming up short. Now, to give myself a little bit of credit, the greens were very slow. They haven't been cut in a few days because it's been raining, but knowing that it was wet and that the greens were a little bit long, it should have been slow. Tee shot 2 here, pretty poor, right next to the cart path, and I ended up having actually a pretty nice chip here to give myself a long look at par. Ended up coming up short here and had a 3-foot putt here for bogey, something I was a little bit nervous about, especially after missing quite a few putts today already. Here on tee box 3, I hit my 5-iron and ended up coming just a little short on this one because I was a little bit worried about this ravine. This par 5 is long and tough, and I wanted to give myself a nice shot here to make it over and clear that little creek. Hit a pretty big draw here with my 3 hybrid, which has kind of been something that has been typical, which is strange considering I slice and fade quite a bit of my shots. But nonetheless, shot 3, ended up chipping a really nice shot here onto the back of the green with a long look here at birdie. Ended up coming short and did not give myself an easy shot for par. So took my time here, looked at the read, set up my line, and just made sure that this was going to be a putt that I really took my time with and focused on. Ended up putting it down for par and was super happy with that hole. Hole 4 ended up pulling way to the left here and just kind of nicked that tree. Gave me a pretty tough shot here, and I just punched it under the trees. On shot 3, I had a pretty nice look and ended up putting it just a little bit to the left of the hole, and it left me a nice opportunity to hit a bump and run with my 8-iron, but I think I got a little bit too excited here. Probably should have put my pitch and wedge on that, but came up a little long and had a okay look here at bogey. Ended up pushing it to the left, but got the distance right and tapped in for double. A tough hole, and we're moving on. Hole 5, hit a really nice 3-wood drive here. This is a really long hole, and I knew that if I was going to make it to this green, I really needed to lay up here and not hit it into this little creek that's right in front of me, as you'll see from this next shot. As you can see, about 15 yards ahead, there's a creek. So I pull out my 7-iron and hit a fantastic shot right onto the back of the green and gave myself a really nice look here at birdie. Pretty long putt nonetheless, but ended up coming up a little short and was hoping it would break a little bit more, but who knows, if I would have had a little bit more pace, I might have gotten a little closer to the hole and had it break in. Tapped in for par there and went on to hole 6. Again, I pulled another tee shot to the left. This one was in deep rough. So the only shot I had really was a 9-iron, just punching it out onto the fairway, and as you'll see, this is the fairway. Tough conditions today. It's been raining a lot, so they haven't been able to maintain and cut the fairways and the greens, but it's all good. Ended up hitting a really good shot here to the back of the green, and this is by far the worst putting performance I've put probably ever. Now, it wasn't the easiest look here in lie, but to be so short on both the first and second putt was just terrible. Third putt, pushed it to the right, had some pace on it, and then just went ahead and tapped in for triple. On to the next hole, just trying not to think about that triple I hit. This tee shot, I don't really know what was going on. I just, for whatever reason, was not focused, and as you can see, I'm just tapping my head like, what are you doing? Here, I have a 9-iron, just trying to chip it onto the fairway to give myself a decent look for the third shot. Right here, have a really, really good look and hit an excellent shot onto the green to really save myself for this hole. A pretty makeable par here. Ended up pushing it just to the right and went ahead, knocked in my bogey, which honestly was deserved. On to hole 8, which is actually one of my favorite holes here. I usually do a pretty good job of hitting that green, but today just pushed it a little to the left of the green, but had a really nice look for a chip in here, but really, really poor attempt here. I just didn't really commit to the shot. I decelerated through the ball, and that's just a recipe for disaster with chipping. For par, came up short again. Just the tone of the day, short putts. Knocked in for bogey and moving on to hole 9. Here on hole 9 is a pretty long par 5. Just kind of curves to the right a little bit here, and I have a great tee shot here with my 3-wood. Ended up putting it in the fairway, but it took a huge bounce and kind of ended up into the rough here, which is actually very, very thick. As you can see, you can't even see the ball or the 3-wood. On this shot, I really don't know what I was thinking. I tried punching it out, but I really should have put a full swing on it because I was so far from the hole. I mean, it was still 170 yards away. Ended up hitting this one very poorly, only about 100 yards max with my 7-iron. Was worried I was pretty close to that sand bunker, but ended up being a pretty good distance away. Here with my 50, ended up putting it on the green for a long look at par. And now on this hole, I actually got the distance pretty good. It was a little bit right, probably needed a little bit more distance to actually make it in, but nonetheless, a nice easy tap in for bogey. Now this is hole 10, and this is where my round started to take a turn for the best. Ended up hitting an excellent tee shot here right onto the green as these gentlemen let me pass and play through them, and they were watching me for my birdie putt. Nailed it. I was definitely pretty nervous to take that putt with all the eyes on me, but they were really, really kind and made me feel super special about draining that birdie. Hole 11, again, pulling a tee shot to the left. This one landed about 220 yards to the left, just behind my body. Now on this shot, I really don't know what I did. I was in such a hurry, and I pushed that ball to the right and had a pretty long chip in here, but I'll let you guys just watch this.
There's no way that just happened. No way. No way. Absolutely no way. There's no way that just happened. No way. Oh my God. I cannot believe that just happened. That was unreal. Ooh, that's back-to-back.
Needless to say, I was ecstatic with that shot. Dunking it in from about 30 yards with the chip was an exhilarating feeling and really set a great tone for the rest of the round. Here on hole 12, hit an excellent drive, striped it right down the center of the fairway, but ended up in this really bad lie. And I just told myself, be aggressive, accelerate through the ball, and ended up having a really good chip here. Pretty long look at birdie here, all things considered, and pushed it to the right. All in all, easy tap-ins for par or something you should be really happy with, and I definitely was here. Hole 13, par 3 over the water with my pitching wedge. Ended up hitting an excellent shot, landing on the front side of the green, and was really happy with myself here. I'm playing lights out at the moment. Have a pretty makeable putt for birdie here, but just come up short and push it to the right. Nice, easy tap in for par, 2 holes in a row. Hole 14 here, just trying to make sure I get some good contact to make it over the creek. Easy carry of about 150 yards, but topping it is not going to carry the creek. Hit a great drive right down the fairway and have a great look here to put it onto the green, but pull it to the left. As you can see, kind of lands right by my knee right there. Have a chip here that I'm looking to put really close to the pin. Ended up doing just that. Really put a great strike on that and tapped in for another par. On to hole 15, really just taking my time to set up this drive because to the left is out of bounds, and unfortunately I did just that. Hit it out of bounds, couldn't find my ball. So here I am on shot 3, and I know that it's going to draw just a little bit to the left, but I didn't anticipate it going that far to the left. Just to the left of the green, and I'm going to leave myself with a 20-yard chip here. Ended up putting a good strike on it, but was quite a bit to the right, so I was a little disappointed with myself on that one. On this bogey, I was so happy. I mean, saving a bogey after going out of bounds was something that really made me feel happy about recovering there on that hole. Hole 16, this is a hole that I despise. Hole 16 through 18 are long, straight, and just lined with trees. Not to mention it's been raining, and this hole has not been cut in days. I ended up hitting a pretty big slice out to the right, just stayed in bounds. So I go ahead and just punch out to the fairway, and here on shot 3, I'm just trying to punch it to the right. I don't want to go left because there's a big pond to the left, and I just didn't want to go out of bounds 2 holes in a row. Here I come up just short with my pitch and wedge, which was disappointed with because I've been doing a great job hitting that all day. On this chip, didn't really have a tough lie. It looked a little tougher than it actually was, but had a great shot and had a very makeable bogey putt here. Again, just short. Hit a double after going really great stretch without any bogeys or double bogeys. So that's bogey and double bogey back to back. Here's hole 17. Hit a pretty big draw here for my standards and could not for the life of me find the ball. So I took a drop here on shot 3. There was a tree that you can kind of see overhanging that I had to kind of punch under. I was a little worried that I was going to make it. Tried to hit a bump and run, but just didn't do that. So on shot 4, I had a nice chip opportunity and put it right next to the hole for a very makeable bogey. And on this one, I'm not gonna lie guys, I was nervous. But, oof, just barely made it in. On to hole 18. On this, I'm just really trying to focus, hitting it right down the center of the fairway with my 3-wood, something that I felt a little bit more confident to do than with my driver, but I pulled it way left. It hit that tree, thankfully, and gave me a decent lie here. Ended up punching it out. Just wanted to stay short of this pond that you'll see kind of right there where the dead grass is. And with my pitching wedge, one of my better shots of the day, landed in a very makeable putt for par. So I'm really taking my time on this one. Really want to make sure that I get the right distance on this one. It's a pretty straight putt here, and oof, just came up short. Man, that's okay. I'm very, very happy with the way that I played today. It gave me a great glimpse of what I can do. I'm nowhere near scratch, but this lets me know that I'm putting the right foot forward. So, an 86, the best score I've put forth in my career. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay tuned for all future uploads. Again, I'm Lewis with Scrub to Scratch, and let's get better together.